is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with James Cannon and Alia Cannon. Mr. and Mrs. Cannon, you have been together 5 years, married for 1, and you have no children together, but you have children from other relationships. You are getting a divorce, and in so doing, Mr. Cannon, you want her to pay you $1,325 for things that we will discuss momentarily. But before we do, Mr. Cannon, tell me, how did we end up in divorce court here today?
Well, Your Honor, you know, all women want a good man.
Yeah.
But a lot of women don't know how to keep them. So as far as the simple fact that, I mean, I admitted in the beginning, I was doing what I wanted to do. I done had kids, I done had babies or whatever, but I changed.
You had babies with other women.
I had babies
while
with
you
other
were
women.
with her.
Yeah, but it wasn't, we wasn't like, it wasn't like serious. It was like not serious. I was kind of doing me, but she was kind of
serious, and we was living together.
She was kind of doing her too.
So were you living together while you had these?
No. We wasn't really living together when this happened.
Right.
So we was.
Were you living with any one of the other 2 mothers?
I stayed by myself the whole time.
You were just traveling.
I was traveling. I was doing me. She was doing her too. She wanted to make it seem like, oh well, it's all me. It's all me. No, she was doing her too.
She was up to some things.
She was up to some things too. Like, Your Honor, it was for a simple fact. It's been some times where, when we was together, like this is why we was married.
Right.
I was cleaning up the house one day, and as I'm cleaning up, I found her pants, and in her pants pocket was she had some pennies in her pocket. This is why we were married, but they're balled up in her pocket.
What happened with the panties in the pocket?
It was just the panties after I had them on, like I had balled them up, just put them in the pants that I had on, and they was in the laundry.
Ms. Cannon, do you think he stopped cheating, or do you think he's still cheating?
Just a few days ago, I found that he was on a dating site. And on the dating site, you know, I found out through his email that he had this dating site, and when I clicked on it, the name of the site popped up, and it was a picture of him. And he wrote things about himself saying that he was on there looking for a queen. When I asked him about it, he said it was a religious account, and that he was on there trying to find other spiritual people that were just like him. But when you read what he wrote, which I have.
Oh, well, let me see it. What do you have? Now, Mr. Cannon, while I'm reading what you wrote, why don't you explain why you wrote it?
Your Honor, I'm on, we all got a regular, no, we all be on sites, like, whether they're, like,
Everybody don't do dating sites.
No, not dating site. I mean, it's just another site that everybody be on. Like, it's like, you know, people got Facebook, or then they got other.
No. Let me read what he said, Joe. Please. I'm fun-loving and free. I'm a provider, and I am the head and not the tail. I've grown a lot over the years, from being in the streets to being saved and praising the Lord. I have a great testimony that I will carry with me forever. My story is beautiful. I'm just looking for a queen to share it with.
He put that in his divorce.
That's not really cheating, Your Honor. I mean, everybody it's the same as having a Facebook. That's like, everybody got Facebook.
Looking for a queen?
That's exactly what I said.
That's saying I want a woman.
Yes.
And you said I'm free, and you're not free. You're married.
Yeah,
you're hollering God and lying at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You might be right about that.
There you go. I know I'm right.
It just at certain time, but I have plenty of reasons why I feel like I need to be looking for other things, because she's not giving me everything that I need.
What is she not giving you? No. I mean, what is she not giving you?
It's been plenty of times where, like, I done changed, Your Honor. I mean, I changed a lot. Like, I used to sell drugs. I used to cheat a lot. I used to have a lot of different women.
You were just
now
out
he
there.
slowed down.
I used to sell drugs. I used to cheat. I used to smoke a lot of weed. I used to drink. I used to just go out. I used to just do everything. But as I got saved and put the Lord first, and He delivered me, it's like I changed my life, because He showed me a different path. Like, I could have still been out there in the streets, dead or in jail somewhere, but.
What isn't she giving you, though? I understand about your growth, and I'm proud of it, but...
She's nagging all the time. All she
what
do
am I
is
nagging
nag
about?
and complain about nothing. Like, she nagging and complaining about Facebook stuff when she's on Facebook more than me.
He's meeting. I'm sorry. He is meeting people off.
Hang on, no. But aren't you meeting people on there? You're looking for women?
I just created it. I don't even be on there. You got to pay for that. I don't even. I can't even. I don't even be on there like that, because that's the site that you got to pay for. It didn't even start off as that a meeting.
But the payment
website.
part shouldn't be the part that stops you. If you are a believer, you got a wife. You got to deal with that situation first.
Exactly. You're right. But the thing is, I was looking. That's not the site that I started on. I was looking for like other Christian sites but it ended up pulling me to that site.
Then go to church. Go to church.
Now I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna leave it here. You know, it's not the site that you picked. It's the thing that you were doing that is contrary to the beliefs you espouse. That's all I'm trying to say.
I understand.
So, but my understanding is you believe she has been unfaithful as well, and that's what I want to talk about now.
Well, I'm getting to pick her up. And as I'm at the corner of the driveway, Alia is pulling up with another guy in the car. Like she didn't expect me to show up early.
Right.
So I'm looking at her dead in the window, in the front window. I see her like she's in the car with another guy. But once they saw me, they back out the driveway and shoot down the street.
Ms. Cannon, did that occur? So, Mr. Cannon, you say she's been unfaithful to you as well. Explain that to me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's been times where my kids, they stay in Dayton. That's a whole nother city from where I live, because I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. My kids stay in Dayton. It was one time where I had dropped Alia off at her aunt's house, which is like in Cincinnati, right around the corner, and I had to drive to Dayton to take my kids back.
Right.
So by the time I would have got back to her, it would have been like 2 hours, something like that. So as I'm taking my kids back to Dayton, I came and picked her up a little early. And when I'm getting to pick her up, I'm at the corner of the driveway. And as I'm at the corner of the driveway, Alia is pulling up. She was just now pulling up with another guy in the car. Like she didn't expect me to show up early.
Right.
So I'm looking at her dead in the window, in the front window. I see her like she's in the car with another guy. But once they saw me, they back out the driveway and shoot down the street. I'm like, oh, so she's trying to run. So guess what? I hopped in my truck and I pulled up on her. I sped down the street.
Now we got a high-speed chase.
Yeah, we on a high-speed chase. Look, we chase. I'm chasing her, and I'm looking dead at her. So they at the light now. We stopped at a red light. I pull up on the side of the car. I'm looking dead at her like, hold on, Alia. I'm honking my horn and everything. She got a hood on, and then she looking the other way. So I guess she thinks she invisible. But I know her. I know how she looks and everything. And I'm like, so the guy ran the red light. So he run through the red light. So I run through the red light. So now I'm chasing her. The guy actually busts a U-turn in the middle of the street, fly back up the street, past the police station. I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to keep on chasing them. I stopped chasing them. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with her. I don't know.
Me and the rest of the driving citizenry.
So
appreciate that.
It was a full-blown high-speed chase.
Ms. Cannon, did that occur?
No, it was not even me in the car, and I keep telling him that. I'll get back to you. Like, no lie, it really was not me in the car at all. Like I told him,
do you know that there was a high-speed chase that began where you lived?
No, he told me about it, and I was down the street. Like, I had walked off. I had went to the store. Like, I came back, and like my aunt telling me, like, oh, JJ was outside, and he pulled off real quick. And I'm like, okay. So then when I called him on the phone,
that's a lie.
He told me to go back to that you was just with. I'm like, what? I wasn't just with nobody.
5 minutes later, she calling my phone. Baby, where you at? I'm like, what you mean where I'm at? I just chased you up the street.
That
wasn't me, baby. I'm like, man, you know what? Don't come back to my house. I'm like, don't come back. Get your stuff and get out. So I'm at my house.
Your house. That's one of our problems.
So 5 minutes later, she pulled up at the house. Oh, baby, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, man, what you mean what's going on? Don't play dumb with me. I seen you in the car with the guy. Like, I seen, oh, it wasn't me. I'm like, man, you know what, man? Just leave me alone.
Leave it alone.
Leave me alone. Like, I don't understand, like, why she just want to keep on lying and lying and lying.
It sounds a little suspect, Mrs. Cannon, really.
Man,
I mean,
it really do.
It wasn't me, you know, come on.
Why was the guy leaving? Why was the guy running? Why was the guy speeding up the street?
It sounds suspect, but it really was not me.
Do you
like,
have any idea what random man was at the house where you were supposed to be?
No, because he said that he was outside, and he was outside the door, and a car pulled in and then pulled out, and he automatically just started chasing the car.
It was her.
So the car supposedly he I'm speeding down the street and the car is chasing. I mean, he chasing the car and talking about a U-turn.
She actually admitted to me that it was.
No, I did not. I did not admit that to you. Why would you
was
sit here
jealous.
and say that?
That you had you went on the high-speed chase. It wasn't that I was jealous. It was just the fact that I caught you on your lies because you always want to play the victim. Like it's always me. No, I seen you in the car, so I wanted to show you that I saw you. Don't try to get away from me. I wanted to let you know that I saw you in the car.
Okay, I got you. It's a hot mess with all the free radicals out there. I got that.
Yeah. I had picked her up from work, Your Honor. We started arguing or whatever, like, and she told me, like, well, yeah, I slept with somebody else. I had a relationship with somebody. I'm like, well, okay. Well, since we've been honest with each other. So did I. I had sex with somebody else, too.
Mrs. Cannon, what do you have to say in response to that conversation? There's another significant issue in your marriage that I think we need to address. Mrs. Cannon, I understand you want to have another baby. Is that accurate?
I would love to.
You would love to?
Yes, ma'am.
But between you already got 12 children?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how many are yours?
I have 5.
You have 5, and you have 7.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I take it you don't want any more.
Nah, I'm cool. I'm glad. I love my 7 that I got, but I don't need no more right now.
Why do you want to have another one, especially as rocky as this situation is?
Well, I would love to have a baby by my husband. Like, it would really be something nice for me to have, but I can't have kids. My tubes is tied. So that's why him having them 2 kids on me bothers me as much.
Do you think that would solidify the marriage somehow, to have kids with them or something?
Well, no, I don't expect for a baby to be able to fix anything, but that was in the beginning when we first got together, you know, that I wanted a baby. Right now, if we would had a child, it probably would be terrible because we probably be battling back and forth about this child. But the problem that I have is the fact that I cannot get over the fact that he had 2 kids on me.
Right.
You know, like, it's very hurtful. Not only did you have one, you turned around 2. And you had 2 of them by the same chick.
You know what, Your Honor? It's like, the thing is, her tools is tied, and I'm a guy, so I mean, my tools ain't tied. So it's
what
like,
does that have to do?
Yeah, no, hang on. Let him finish.
If she cheat and do what she want to do, won't nothing happen. Like, no matter how many guys that she mess with or sleep with, she won't get pregnant. But if I go out there and have sex, it can only be one time, and it can be like a baby. Like it's not like something that I planned on happening.
There's 99 million different forms of birth control out there.
Yeah, but that's not my.
Oh, yes, it is your responsibility.
Yes, it is.
It is your responsibility.
Thank you.
If you don't know that woman, if you don't know everything is cool, you cover it up. You don't bring diseases home. You don't leave kids littered out there. You cover that up. You're responsible for that.
I understand.
I'm talking about it's not my job. Please.
No, I mean, I understand that. I mean, but I take care of my kids. I love my kids.
That isn't the point.
But it's the fact that you had the 2 kids on me.
That isn't the point. I mean, you should take care and love your children, but you also should be responsible not to create them
and have
if
enough
that is not
respect for me,
appropriate under the circumstances. That's what I'm telling you.
You're right, Mom.
Mr. Cannon, I understand you finally filed for divorce. What brought that on?
It was one time, Your Honor, it was like, well, I had picked her up from work, Your Honor. As we got to the house, we got into an altercation. Like, so we started arguing or whatever, like, and she told me, she admitted, like, well, yeah, since you want to keep on talking, yeah, I actually had sex about what I was accusing her of having sex.
What did you say to me before I said that?
I'm gonna get to you.
The first time, look, that's what she told me she had sex first. She told me, like, well, yeah, I slept with somebody else. I had a relationship with somebody. I'm like, well, okay. Well, since we've been honest with each other, So did I. I had sex with somebody else too.
Mrs. Cannon, what do you have to say in response to that conversation?
In the midst of us arguing, you know, we saying things to each other. You know, he's saying bad things.
And then I'm
saying bad things.
Up.
But when he said it, it crushed me because I know for a fact that he probably more than likely actually really did it.
And you just said it for a fact.
And I just said it, you know, just to make him mad, but don't get me wrong.
She told me she had relations first.
I got it. I got that part.
But don't get me wrong, like, I don't want to make it seem...
Yeah, I see we are completely and utterly off the cliff. I get that. Know why we're in divorce court. Now I want to talk about the money. So, Mr. Cannon, I understand as you're divorcing Mrs. Cannon, you would like her to pay $1,325, $325 for the filing fees, and $1,000 for property damage, including clothes and tires. Explain that to me.
Well, Your Honor, I actually did go down there and file for divorce, and I had to, because I felt like it was her reason that I filed for divorce. I wanted to get it over with, so I went down there and paid $325 for us to get a divorce. And out of anger, she ripped my clothes up. Like, she cut my couches. This is the paper right here that I went to go file for the divorce.
Do you have anything to show me the nature of the damage she did or what she did it to?
I probably have pictures on my phone about with my couches that she ripped up.
What do you have to say about that, Mrs. Cannon?
Well, when he told me that he had relations with that woman, the outfit he had on, I tore it up. Them shoes he wore that day, I tore it up. I mean, I wanted to tear up all the clothes in the closet for real. I wanted to break the TV, the fish tank, the whole nine for I was mad. But instead, I just tore up the outfit that he had on for that day. So the shirt, the pants, the shoes, and I did tear the couch, but that's both of our couch. Like, how you gonna try to charge me for something?
That's not both of our couch. I paid for it myself.
Anything that you purchase while we're married is both of ours.
Man,
what are you talking about?
she always trying to claim something that
believe it or not, I have a glancing familiarity with the law, so I think I got that part, okay? Anything else you want to say? No. Listen, here's the way it goes. You filed for divorce, you paid for the filing. That's what she's going to have to pay for her side, her attorney, all that kind of stuff. You want to get a divorce, you paid for the filing, that's it. She doesn't owe you the money for the filing because you believe she's the reason that you filed. You did quite enough dirt on your own, by the way. Number two, you can't tear up somebody else's stuff. Can't do it at no point in time. But the outfit that you had on probably has very little, if any, value. But I'm going to just do a little rough justice just because it's wrong to tear up other people's stuff. I'm going to charge you $100 for that to pay him for his stuff. You don't have to pay for the couch. The couch was jointly owned. She tore up her own stuff. That's fine. But you can't be tearing up other people's stuff. Can I say this? I know you got, I'm so glad y'all getting a divorce. It's so good for you to be done. And I want you to be happy and move forward. Don't think about all the things that he's done for you now because you're putting a period on him. It's over. Women tend to ruminate on it, how it happened, why it happened. Doesn't matter anymore. He's just another dude off the street to you now. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any children together. You're a pretty young lady. You go out there and enjoy your life. Whatever happened between the two of you happened, and it's done, and it's over. Mr. Cannon, I hope that you have grown in the bosom of the church as you so claim. I really do.
Thank you, Jesus.
Part of doing that, there's no point claiming religion if you don't obey the rules that's in them.
Walk how you talk.
And that's what I'm asking you to do. $100 in favor of Mr. Cannon. It is so ordered.
I would have hoped things would have got better between us, but I know as a woman how I'm supposed to be treated, and I need to be treated better.